In the boundless expanse of the cosmos, a fundamental truth resonated across every star system, every nebula, and every swirling galaxy. Every species possessed magic. It wasn't merely a quaint belief or a mystical phenomenon. It was a verifiable, intrinsic force, as real and omnipresent as gravity or light. Perhaps those without it simply failed to survive, fading into the forgotten annals of time, unable to adapt to the universe's magical currents. Perhaps magical power was a prerequisite for intelligence itself, a spark igniting the very capacity for complex thought and societal organization. Or perhaps it was something entirely different, a profound mystery woven into the very fabric of existence. A cosmic secret no species had yet fully unraveled. No one truly knew the why, but the what was undeniable. Magic was as universal as life itself. It was the bedrock upon which civilizations were forged, the invisible current that powered astounding technologies, and the silent bond that held societies together, shaping their cultures, their ambitions, and their very understanding of reality. The form it took might twist and morph from one species to another, a kaleidoscope of arcane expression, from whispered incantations to monumental displays of raw power. But its presence was constant, for without it, no species could truly thrive. No civilization could reach for the stars. Take the Korthachi, for instance, a species renowned for their profound understanding of the universe's subtle energies. Their magic was known as weavecraft, a form so elegant, so effortlessly potent, it seemed to transcend the very limitations of the physical universe, making raw power appear clumsy by comparison. Their magnificent weave ships didn't simply travel through space. They folded reality into itself, causing the very fabric of space-time to ripple and bend, slipping through the cosmic tapestry as if it were nothing more than a shimmering illusion. A silk scarf casually draped and then gathered, a journey that would conventionally demand years, perhaps even decades, was shortened to mere moments, their vessels arriving at their destinations with the ethereal grace of a thought made manifest. A silent, almost instantaneous transition. These Korthachi navigators, often called lumen weavers, spent their lives in deep, disciplined meditation, their minds intricately linked to the cosmic tapestry, sensing its currents and seams. With a gentle mental nudge, a focused intention, they could ripple the very essence of space-time, pulling distant stars closer, making the impossible journey a gentle, almost instantaneous drift. Imagine staring out a viewport, watching entire galaxies rush past like painted blurs, their spiraling arms stretching and then compressing, only to find yourself at your destination the next moment. The journey itself a dreamlike whisper, a sensation of having blinked across light years. This wasn't just travel. It was a cosmic ballet choreographed by pure will, a dance with the very dimensions of existence. Their ships, adorned with intricate glowing patterns that pulsed with concentrated magic, seemed less like machines and more like living extensions of the cosmos itself, breathing with the universe's rhythms, their very hulls humming with the energy of manipulated space-time. Their cities, built into floating crystalline structures that shimmered with an inner light, hummed with the same weavecraft, providing instant transportation across vast urban landscapes, and even creating localized pockets of altered reality for recreation, accelerated learning, or deep philosophical contemplation. They believed that existence was a delicate weave of energy and thought, and their mastery lay in manipulating these threads with unparalleled finesse, understanding that every action, every intention, created a ripple in the universal fabric. A true lumen weaver could unravel complex paradoxes, mend tears in the fabric of their own reality if accidental breaches occurred, or even glimpse echoes of potential futures within the flowing weave, seeing the probability threads shimmering before them. Their understanding of magic wasn't just practical, it was philosophical, spiritual, and deeply integrated into every aspect of their sophisticated society, guiding their ethics and their technological advancements. Then there were the Cerithians, masters of pulse binding. Their magic connected their bustling cities to the very heart of their worlds. A deep, rhythmic resonance with the planet's natural frequencies. A symbiotic relationship that transcended mere habitation. The air around their gleaming metropolises constantly hummed with a vibrant, rhythmic light. A pulse in perfect harmony with their surroundings, illuminating their towering spires with soft, undulating glows. Entire cities would thrum in unison, a living, breathing entity, communicating and protecting themselves through the constant beat of the universe itself. A ceaseless flow of energy that guided their lives like a cosmic song, each building a complex note in the planetary symphony. The rhythm keepers of Cerathian society were revered figures, their role akin to both advanced engineers and profound spiritual guides. They would interpret the planetary pulses, which carried information on everything from seismic activity to stellar winds, adjusting their city's resonance to ward off celestial storms, to purify their atmospheric layers, or to broadcast messages of peace and shared knowledge across vast distances to allied worlds. Their grand cathedrals weren't just places of worship. They were massive resonant chambers, channeling the planet's heartbeat into protective barriers that shimmered with soft, undulating light, capable of deflecting incoming meteors and neutralizing harmful cosmic radiation alike. When a Cerathian spoke, their voice often carried a subtle, melodic undertone, an echo of the universal pulse that permeated their very being, allowing for effortless communication and an innate understanding of subtle energetic shifts around them. Their entire civilization functioned as a single, harmonious organism, each individual a note in the planetary symphony, contributing to its collective well-being and magical strength, making them profoundly empathetic and cooperative. They could even, in moments of great danger, combine their individual pulses to create a formidable concentrated wave of energy, capable of repelling large celestial objects, disrupting aggressive alien technologies with a jarring dissonance, or even calming volatile stellar phenomena. This deep connection made them inherently peaceful, as discord with their environment, or with each other, would literally create painful dissonance within their very being, a physical manifestation of disharmony. And the Elithrani? They practiced void carving, a manipulation of the vacuum of space so profound, it allowed them to literally carve intricate pathways through the cosmos itself, making the emptiness a canvas for their will. Their unique magic shielded them effortlessly from the harsh, unforgiving emptiness of space, creating localized pockets of breathable atmosphere around their vessels, rendered them invisible to the prying eyes of their few enemies by bending light around them, and allowed them to create shimmering trails of starlight that served as protective conduits for their vast caravans of knowledge and exploration. Silently weaving through the void, the star sculptors of Elithra were often solitary figures, their minds focused on the immense, empty canvases of space, seeing patterns and possibilities where others saw only nothingness. With precise gestures and concentrated thought, they could part the cosmic dust, creating clear, sparkling lanes for their convoys, open temporary wormholes that shimmered like liquid silver, or weave cloaks of starlight around their slow-moving, knowledge-laden convoys, making them appear as faint, harmless stellar phenomena. Imagine a celestial highway, paved with glittering dust and silent portals, used not for conquest or trade in material goods, but for the peaceful exchange of ideas and discoveries, connecting distant libraries and academies across the galaxy. Their outposts in deep space weren't built structures in the traditional sense, but carefully carved pockets of breathable atmosphere, held in place by invisible magical barriers, shimmering like giant translucent bubbles of life. They were the universe's librarians and cartographers, their trails of starlight extending like illuminated pathways leading to hidden wonders, ancient ruins, and undiscovered cosmic phenomena. The Elithrani believed that true power lay in understanding the absence of things, the void, the silence, the spaces between, for within these absences lay infinite potential. By mastering the emptiness, they mastered everything within it, making them unparalleled explorers and keepers of cosmic secrets. Their understanding of spatial dynamics unmatched. They could even sense minute fluctuations in the void, detecting hidden passages or cloaked vessels that no other magical detection could perceive, making them exceptionally difficult to track or ambush. Beyond these, countless other species thrived, each with their own spectacular form of magic, a vibrant tapestry of abilities. The Zephyral with their whisper wind, manipulating atmospheric currents on a planetary scale, able to summon gentle breezes for optimal weather conditions, or devastating hurricanes to defend their homeworlds with a mere thought, making them masters of environmental control and aerial warfare. The Sulk with their gravitational manipulation, bending mass and trajectory with a mere thought, capable of moving asteroids with the ease of pebbles, stabilizing unstable planetary orbits, or even crushing incoming threats with immense gravitational fields, turning cosmic debris into weapons or shields. The Nymari with their life song, fostering growth and healing across vast ecosystems, coaxing barren lands into lush gardens in mere days, or mending devastating wounds with melodious incantations that resonated with the very spark of life, making them sought-after healers and terraformers. There were the Chrono Weavers of the Ethelian Collective, who could subtly bend local time, allowing them to experience moments of accelerated thought for complex problem-solving, or to slow down the approach of a threat, gaining precious seconds in battle or in intellectual pursuits. The Crystalline Sages of the Geode Concord, who could imbue inanimate minerals with consciousness and memory, creating living libraries and sentient starships that remembered every journey and every piece of data, becoming companions as much as conveyances. The Umbrals of the Shadow Veil, masters of manipulating light and darkness, capable of rendering themselves completely invisible by diverting photons, or conjuring illusions so real they could fool even the most magically attuned senses, making them unmatched in stealth and subterfuge, their presence as elusive as a dream. Each unique magic formed a unique lens through which its species viewed and interacted with the cosmos, a symbiotic relationship between life and the universal force that sustained it, a testament to the endless creativity of the cosmos. Every encounter with a new civilization was a new chapter in the grand book of cosmic wonder, expanding our collective understanding of reality. We, the Celestials, were the keepers of this cosmic knowledge, our own magic, harmonic weaving, allowing us to understand and even blend these diverse forms. Our purpose was cosmic unity, the weaving together of all magical expressions into a grand, beautiful symphony, a harmonious concert of cosmic powers. We had catalogued thousands of magical traditions, each unique, each astonishing, each contributing to the universal tapestry. And our greatest joy came from the convergence of these powers, the moment two disparate magical arts intertwined to create something greater than the sum of their parts. The Cerathians' pulse-binding, when interwoven with the Corthaces' weavecraft, created weave ships that resonated harmoniously with the natural frequencies of the space they passed through, allowing for even faster, more efficient travel, with less energetic strain on the weave. Imagine a Corthaci weave ship not just folding space, but doing so in perfect sync with the universal hum, a silent, powerful resonance that made the journey almost instantaneous, creating faint musical echoes across the void that even the most distant Cerathian could feel, a lullaby of hyperspeed. The Elethranis' void carving, when blended with the Sulk's gravitational manipulation, allowed for intricate pathways through space, bending both time and mass in ways that were once considered impossible, creating shortcuts through dimensions that defied conventional navigation, making trade routes through cosmic anomalies a safe and profitable reality. These moments of convergence, when different kinds of magic merged, were the truly breathtaking ones. They opened up entirely new dimensions of potential, leading to unprecedented advancements that shaped the very fabric of civilizations, pushing them further into the vastness of the cosmos and revealing new wonders in the process. Fulfilling the very purpose of galactic exploration, we believe that magic was the universal language, the ultimate bond, and the ultimate key to unlocking the universe's deepest secrets. Every species had magic, So you can imagine our utter confusion, bordering on disbelief. When we first encountered a species that claimed to have none, we first made contact with them, on the very edge of what we had always considered unclaimed space. A treacherous stretch of the stars where few had dared to venture, believing it to be barren of advanced life. A dead zone, our scouting vessel, the Cosmic Whisper, a graceful Korthachi weave ship reinforced with Cerathian pulse shields, had detected unusual energy signatures. They were too erratic to be natural phenomena, too chaotic to be naturally occurring stellar activity, yet too unmagical to be conventional magical propulsion. These signals pulsed with a harsh, dissonant energy, unlike any we had ever encountered. It was unsettling, a persistent, jarring buzz in the tranquil cosmic background, like static disrupting a cosmic symphony. Their vessels were striking, though in an unconventional way, angular, almost brutish in appearance, blocky and unrefined. They stood in stark contrast to the sleek, elegant, and often magically refined designs favored by most interstellar civilizations, which often mimicked natural forms or elegant mathematical equations. Our Korthachi observer on board, Lumen Weaver Rix, felt a prickle of unease. He noted their blunt edges, completely lacking the smooth, flowing lines characteristic of weavecraft vessels. He found their form almost offensive to his aesthetic sensibilities, like a jagged scar on the smooth canvas of space, devoid of any inherent magical resonance, no subtle hum of manipulated reality. Our Cerathian pulsebinder, Rhythm Keeper Lyra, felt no rhythmic hum, no sympathetic vibration, no connection to their internal systems, only a chaotic, almost aggressive vibration that jarred her very core. It felt like a song played entirely off-key, a screeching discord grating against her sensitive magical perception, a constant disharmony that gave her a headache. Yet, despite their seemingly crude utilitarian exteriors, these ships moved with a precision and a purposeful efficiency that was unnerving. They cut through space with a directness that defied elegance, but achieved speed. It was as if they knew something we did not, as though their movements were guided by an invisible, yet incredibly powerful hand, a hand that defied all known magical principles. This was a species that, by all our understanding, should not be able to navigate deep space, let alone with such confidence and speed. A low hum of frustration began to ripple through the Cosmic Whisper's crew, a shared sense of baffled confusion. When we finally initiated open contact, it began as most first encounters did, a careful exchange of curiosities, a tentative reaching out across the void, a dance of diplomatic overtures. Our celestial envoy, Arcanist Vale, a being whose very essence was steeped in the understanding of magical synergy, opened the communication. He extended a mental greeting woven with threads of universal harmony, infused with small gentle pulses of Cerathian warmth, and the subtle inviting shimmer of Elithrani starlight, a tapestry of goodwill. He felt the mental landscape of the unknown species, searching for the familiar magical resonance, the unique signature of their arcane power, hoping to find a new, beautiful melody to add to the cosmic choir. But he found nothing. It was like shouting into an empty void, the mental echoes simply dying, absorbed by a strange, inert mental barrier. Naturally, we inquired about their magic, the fundamental force that surely propelled their crude-looking ships across unimaginable distances and allowed them to communicate across light years. We asked with genuine curiosity, our minds eager to catalog another unique magical expression, another facet of the cosmic truth, another color in the universal spectrum. What kind of magic did they possess? What ancient and powerful force did they tap into to traverse the stars? What subtle enchantments did they weave to survive the void? We even offered a glimpse of our own harmonic weaving. A brief, shimmering display of interwoven energies. A gesture of goodwill and shared understanding. Hoping they would reciprocate, their answers were not just baffling. They were utterly nonsensical to our magically attuned minds. Through our universal translators, their words came across with a strange, blunt clarity, devoid of the lyrical quality we were accustomed to, lacking any magical subtext or resonance. They declared, with a puzzling sincerity, that they possessed no magic. In fact, they claimed to have never even heard of such a thing. At least, not in the way we understood it. Magic, their lead representative, a being they called Captain Eva Rostova, had replied, her voice filled with a curious blend of amusement and confusion, a faint, almost dismissive chuckle. Her face, though expressive, lacked the subtle internal glow that indicated a magical aura. There was no shimmering energy, no faint hum around her, just her. No magical signature, no resonance, just a plain, unadorned presence. We use physics, not spells. The universe operates on natural laws. We just figured out how to work with them. She paused, a small, almost imperceptible frown on her brow, as if trying to grasp our own strange concept. You mean like waving your hands and making things happen? No, we don't do that. We build machines. We understand forces. It's logical, cause and effect, predictable. They told us with unwavering conviction that they believed magic didn't exist, that it was merely a myth, a quaint concept born of misunderstanding, perhaps a primitive interpretation of natural phenomena before true understanding was achieved. They explained that, for them, the universe operated by certain fundamental laws, laws that could be understood through painstaking study, rigorous experimentation, and meticulous observation, repeatable and verifiable, and it was through their knowledge and manipulation of these laws. They asserted that they had achieved everything they had. Vale and Lyra exchanged bewildered glances, their confusion deepening into genuine alarm. Laws, of course, the universe had laws, but these were the frameworks within which magic operated, not the source of power itself. To claim that these laws were the source of everything seemed utterly absurd, like claiming the tapestry itself was the weaver, rather than the loom and the thread, or that a river created its own flow. Lyra felt a chill run down her spine. Their minds, they are closed to the flow. She whispered to Vale, her voice trembling slightly. They feel nothing but brute force. They are deaf to the universe's song. When we, utterly perplexed, asked how they had managed to venture out into the harsh emptiness of space without the benefit of magic, without invoking the ethereal threads of reality, without harmonizing with the universal pulses, and without carving pathways through the void. They spoke of abstract concepts and tangible devices. They mentioned things like engines, clunky mechanical contraptions. They explained that consumed fuel, a liquid highly combustible substance they extracted from planets through mining and refining. Their vessels, they explained, were moved not by manipulating the fabric of the cosmos, but by a concept they called propulsion, a seemingly simplistic mechanical force generated by these engines expelling matter at high velocities. Pushing against the void, Lyra, our Cerithian, tried to sense the pulse of these engines, seeking any rhythmic energy, but found nothing but raw, uncontrolled explosions contained within metal shells, a series of violent, contained detonations. "It's crude," she murmured, her sensitive internal rhythm protesting, feeling actual pain, like a sustained, miniature supernova, but without any grace or harmony. "It's so violent. Each pulse is a tiny explosion, a jarring burst of chaos. How can they tolerate it, let alone harness it?" Rix, the lumen weaver, tried to perceive their movement within the weave, but could only sense a forced, unnatural tearing, as if they were clumsily ripping through space-time rather than folding it with precision. "They are brute forcing the universe," he whispered, a hint of disdain, almost revulsion, in his voice. "It is inefficient, dangerous. It leaves a scar, a small disruption in the cosmic fabric, like a crude incision." He traced the theoretical path of their ship in the air with his finger. But the pattern was chaotic, jarring, completely devoid of the elegant curves and folds he was accustomed to. When we pressed further, their explanations only grew more bewildering. Yet their conviction remained unshaken, their confidence unwavering. How, we asked, could they possibly travel faster than light, without bending space itself? Without magic, they calmly explained something they called warp drives, devices they claimed created a localized distortion of space-time. Not by magical will, but by immense power derived from fusion reactions. They described harnessing miniature stars, containing them within intricate magnetic fields, fusing atoms together to generate the incredible energy needed to warp space around their vessels, effectively shortening the distance by creating a bubble of space-time that moved faster than light. It sounded like utter nonsense, like a fantastical story spun by some naive, imaginative child, completely divorced from reality. Our lumen weaver Rix, a master of folding reality, almost scoffed aloud. To distort space without weavecraft? It is like trying to paint without light. Their methods are barbaric, a sledgehammer where a sculpture's touch is needed. Yet, as they described the precision of their calculations, the incredible strength of their magnetic fields that contained miniature suns, and the volatile nature of containing such immense, uncontrolled energy, a flicker of something new appeared in Vale's eyes. Not understanding, but a profound, uneasy wonder. They are creating chaos, he thought, his mental pathways struggling to reconcile the concepts, and then controlling it with sheer mechanical force. It defies intuition. How could a species, utterly devoid of magic, travel faster than light, and do so with such a reckless disregard for the elegance of cosmic laws? Such a dangerous approach to fundamental forces? We had all but dismissed their explanations, assuming them to be an elaborate, if strangely innocent, lie or a profound misunderstanding of our own magical inquiries. Yet, their very presence, their crude but effective ships traversing the void, was undeniable proof that whatever they did, however illogical, it worked. The logical incongruity was maddening, a puzzle that defied all our millennia of collected magical wisdom. Shattering our cosmic worldview, Lyra felt a faint headache forming, a constant, throbbing pain, a consequence of trying to process the sheer energetic dissonance their warp drives emitted. "It's like a scream in the quiet of space," she murmured, clutching her head. Not a song, but a desperate, violent tearing. Even more bewildering was their explanation of communication, a realm where magic was almost a prerequisite. When we asked how they could send messages across light years, they spoke of invisible radio waves, fluctuations in electromagnetic fields, and something called quantum entanglement, a concept so abstract it defied our magical understanding, almost bordering on magical itself. Yet they insisted it wasn't. They explained that particles, once entangled, would instantaneously affect each other, regardless of distance. A connection that seemed to defy the very fabric of reality. Yet they offered no magical explanation. They had no need for intricately enchanted crystals, or the telepathic relay systems that were the backbone of our interstellar communication networks, through which thoughts and emotions flowed seamlessly. Vale, our arcanist, tried to sense these radio waves, but felt only a chaotic buzz, a noisy background hum without any inherent magical structure, like static rather than a melody, a jumble of random energy. It is like shouting across a void, he observed, frustration subtly lacing his voice, his usual calm demeanor strained, without the aid of a magical conduit, blindly hoping someone hears. There is no elegance, no flow, no harmony. Lyra tried to feel the entanglement, to sense the connection between the supposedly linked particles. But it was beyond her pulse binding, a connection so alien it bypassed her very senses, a purely theoretical link that left no energetic trace, no resonance. It was a communication method that seemed to violate the very spirit of cosmic harmony, a brute force connection rather than an elegant flow, a blunt instrument rather than a finely tuned magical frequency. Captain Rostova merely offered a small, knowing smile, a flicker of amusement in her eyes. "It works," she said simply, as if that was all that mattered, and the sheer audacity of it silenced further questioning. When we asked how they survived the harshness of space, how they breathed, how they protected themselves from the crushing vacuum, the deadly radiation, and the extreme temperatures, without the protective magical barriers or shielding we had come to rely on, which shimmered with protective energies, they simply pointed to their understanding of engineering and chemistry. These were fields we knew of, but had always considered mundane, practical applications, certainly never magical at all. They had built their very survival, not through spells or rituals, but through the meticulous, careful manipulation of materials, crafting complex tools and intricate systems to protect themselves from the vacuum of space, creating miniature, habitable worlds within their rigid vessels. They described life support systems that recycled air through complex filtration and chemical processes, radiation shielding made of layers of dense metals and composites, and pressure suits that encased them in individual, mobile environments, each a testament to their ingenuity. The sheer complexity of building such systems, without any inherent magical assistance, was truly baffling. It was like watching a sculptor create a masterpiece with only blunt rocks, eschewing all chisels and refined tools, relying solely on brute force and countless hours of labor. They meticulously measured, calculated, and constructed, relying only on what they could physically touch and observe, their tools themselves devoid of any magical enhancement. Our Elithrani star sculptor, Void Seer Zephyr, was fascinated by their hull integrity and environmental controls, marveling at the sheer effort involved in doing what his people did with a simple thought. With the mere act of willing space to conform, they build their reality from the ground up. He mused, his typically serene demeanor tinged with disbelief and a hint of respect. Piece by painful piece, they force the void to yield, through sheer stubbornness. He tried to sense the magical barrier holding their air in, but found none, only the cold, unyielding reality of their constructed hull. A barrier of inert matter and pure physical strength. But it was their explanation of computers that truly shook us to our core, sending a ripple of profound unease, bordering on fear, to spread through our collective consciousness. They claimed to have created thinking machines, complex arrangements of silicon circuits and electricity, that could perform calculations of staggering complexity, and even, astonishingly, mimic intelligence itself. A thinking machine, without the use of any magic, no essence binding to grant consciousness, no soul forging to imbue sentience, no enchantments at all. Our lumen weaver Rix recoiled, genuinely disturbed, his mental pathways almost shutting down in protest. To create thought without a soul spark, It is unnatural, a hollow echo of true consciousness. It is a mockery of life itself, a cold, empty imitation. They spoke of these devices as though they were nothing more than tools, mere objects that could be built, programmed, and improved upon, devoid of any magical spark or inherent sentience. It defied every fundamental law of the universe as we knew it. Every mystical principle we held sacred. Their electricity seemed to be nothing more than harnessed, concentrated energy, a force we knew could be generated through magic, but never so precisely controlled through inert materials. They used it to animate these intricate silicon brains, making them capable of processing information at speeds that rivaled even a Korthachi mind meld. The sheer scale of their calculations, the ability to predict astronomical movements or design complex structures purely through these thinking machines, was both terrifying and undeniably impressive. A silent, relentless march of logic. They are thinking without feeling the universe, Lyra murmured, a shiver running through her entire being. It is a cold, silent form of intelligence, devoid of empathy or resonance. Our initial confusion gradually gave way to a strange, almost fearful fascination, a chilling sense of awe. We, the Celestials, who had always believed in the universal flow of magic, found our very understanding of existence challenged, our cosmic worldview fractured. These beings, these humans, operated on principles so alien to our own, so fundamentally different, yet undeniably effective. Their engines and propulsion were a raw, tangible force, pushing against the universe with brute, unrefined power, a testament to their sheer determination and physical might. Their warp drives were a violent tearing of space, driven by controlled miniature stars, a chaotic energy contained only by meticulous calculation and engineering, a method that made our own graceful weaveships seem almost timid in comparison, and far more risky, relying on explosive power rather than elegant manipulation. Their radio waves and quantum entanglement were connections that bypassed all known magical resistances, traveling unseen, unheard, yet undeniably present, a testament to